อ Test, 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 test. Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievably, welcome to the Royal Room. There's so much to say, but obviously, to quote Jerry Garcia, what a long, strange trip it's been, except we didn't get to go anywhere during the trip. So I don't know if that's really apropos. I want to start with the bad stuff. Just so it's really clear with Mass, the way we've decided to do this is that actively eating and drinking, but that doesn't mean standing up drinking. So it means eating and drinking at your place, which is going to make it so much easier for us to take care of all this, as well as make a clear understanding of what the rules are. And for example, Friday night, we're going to have a dance party, and people who are dancing are going to have their masks on. And if you have a drink in your hand while you're dancing, it's not going to fly. So unless you want to drink through your mask, and that's fine. It's kind of a waste of money, it seems to me, but whatever. Okay, and I also want to just say some appreciation about the vaccination card thing and the understanding about it. It's a difficult road to hoe. There's a lot of mixed feelings, a lot of people, and I understand those mixed feelings. We're going to go this way for a while. We feel that under the circumstances, it makes sense. We've had a lot of people express that they would like that to be the case, and we're going to work with that for now. I obviously have a million people to thank. I'm going to make it really fast because we have Abe Beeson here, who's actually an MC. I'm just a rank amateur. First place, I want to thank my two partners, Steve and Tia, who started this place with me, and Tia, I hope you won't mind when I say that you've been completely busting your ass for the last 3 weeks, but Steve has been doing the same for the last 3 months. And but both of you have been incredible, and thank you so, so much. To Brad Ruda, who's actually, I got to admit, the only person who stayed employed during this whole time, but nevertheless, he also worked really hard, and I want to thank him a lot. Raul in the kitchen, who was gone for 18 months and just came back in 2 weeks ago and just stepped in and took over like blazing. Same with Nausicaa, who was our lead server and also just came and got things ship-shape. And finally, please. And finally, Ray, who of course we're all grateful for because he got the bar going, and after all, isn't that maybe the most important thing? With all that, I'd like to say that almost everybody working here tonight has never worked here before until tonight. So I would really appreciate your patience if that's needed. And if it's not needed, well, either way, tip them generously. But even if it's not needed, just some appreciation for that. They've just come in with very little notice and have just been taking care of business. And now I got the money part of it. I want to thank a whole bunch of people, and actually some of you know that there's something called the South Hudson Music Project. It's a not-for-profit that's working its way towards making this place more sustainable. And typically I would be talking about people who funded us in terms of the South Hudson Music Project. But actually during COVID, the Royal Room as a for-profit business got a lot of support, and I can't go on today or tonight without talking about that. The Live Music Society, which is a really interesting private organization, Keep Music Live, which I think is based in Whatcom County, the Washington State Department of Commerce. NEVA and WANMA are two advocacy organizations that got very strong during this period and have been unbelievably helpful. And then I'm going to say something, I want everyone to take a deep breath. The federal government. I know. And I'd just like to take one moment to say that it's interesting to me that with so much that went wrong, with so much that wasn't handled correctly, and so much that could have been better, whether that's unemployment or the kind of funds that venues got or anything, we have to think of what it would have been like before the Franklin Roosevelt administration and subsequently if we had no social safety net whatsoever. And so I would just like to say it's a testament to that being, we hope, improved, but also some point of view about how important it is. The Small Business Administration, gave us not only a PPP loan back in the day, but also gave us what's called a Shuttered Venues Operator Grant, which I think pretty much every venue in the city got. And we couldn't be more grateful, and it's very important. It's a Kafka story of bureaucracy, but the money came through. I'd like to thank KNKX for all their support, and we'll get to that. And in terms of the South Hudson Music Project, we also got some funding which helped very much with the live streaming, the Rainier Foundation, and For Culture, and all our individual donors. And over the next month or so, I'll be talking and trying to get you people to know more about that. But I'm not going to go on any, I've gone long enough. Please welcome from KNKX, the incredible Abe Beeson.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It is wonderful to be here at the Royal Room. And after just a few weeks of the quarantine, I know places like this started to think about how they were going to come back, what it would take to last, how long it would be before we could come back. And nobody thought it would last this long. Nobody thought it would be back like this with vaccination proof and masks and all this stuff. But I appreciate you being so patient and working so hard, because it all is worth it to keep this kind of thing going. It's one thing to sit around the house with records and headphones on. I do that a lot. But this is where it's at, and I'm so glad to be here with you tonight at the Royal Room. Welcome back. And as it turns out, we really need music, and the musicians need us just as badly. In fact, Herbie Hancock's coming to town. He's having trouble selling tickets. We're giving away a pair of tickets to catch Herbie Hancock. Check out the KNKX booth back here, enter to win, and catch Herbie. I think he's bringing Lionel Lueke and his band. It's going to be a great show. Speaking of great shows, I'm very excited to be here for the KNKX-sponsored Piano Starts Here series, a semi-monthly series. And you should get one of these little calendars so you can follow along with the Piano Starts Here series and programming. Coming up tomorrow night, this is so great. There's a full calendar of happenings here at the Royal Room. The Elna Jordan Experience tomorrow with Eric Verlinde and friends. The grand opening dance party is Friday night with Aisha Brooks, Jeff Fielder, Hans Teuber, Wayne Horvitz, and many, many more. Now, Saturday is going to be a blowout. McTuff is here opening for Thadalac. Big, big night Saturday night. And looking ahead to Sunday, too. That's going to be a beautiful night of music. Songs After Silence. Special focus on the music of Robin Holcomb, Leslie Braley, Reggie Garrett, Joan Kelsey, Aisha Brooks, Tyler Edwards, and Darren Lucas. Some wonderful series happening here at the Royal Room. Not to mention, coming up Monday will be the return of the Royal Room Collective Music Ensemble. Will be back here Monday night, which will be followed by Thomas Marriott's Jazz Jam here. It's going to be every Monday night. Thomas is going to be bringing his friends in to jam. So come on down Mondays, bring your horns. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I want to thank Loudswell for streaming tonight's event. As some folks, if you're not feeling good, don't go to a show. Chances are it's streaming, so thanks to Loudswell for streaming the show. And with that, I think I'd like to bring up some of these musicians. We have a wonderful showcase for you tonight. In our second set, we will hear pianists Ray Shelbred, Darius Wilrich, and Wayne Horvitz. And in our first set, coming up, Ann Reynolds playing the music of Carla Bley. We will hear Jose Gonzalez digging into Cole Porter's music. And starting us off, playing the music of the definitive swinger Teddy Wilson, ladies and gentlemen, Alex Guilbert.
Good evening. I'm going to try and keep the talking to a minimum because everything has already been said. But I just want to say I'm Alex Guilbert. I'm normally the host of these nights. It is wonderful to have a professional hosting. Thank you, Abe. So please visit the KNKX desk back there. And I just wanted to say thank you to a few people. First and foremost, thank you to Wayne for asking me if I was interested in taking on this series years ago. It's been, as he said, a long, strange trip, but we've got people here, and I'm so appreciative. I'm smiling under the mask. I wanted to thank also Brad and everyone at the Royal Room, KNKX, Loudswell. You've all been wonderful to work with, and please also, yes, pick up a program. We have a great season. It's all scheduled from now until a year from now. And in November, we have the great Mark Seals. That's going to be our theme for November, the third Wednesday of November. So that's a great show coming up, and I'm really looking forward to that. But we've got a great season coming up. So please pick up a program. And now I am going to play some music, I guess. Usually the format of this series is that we'll pick a theme and everyone will adhere to the theme. We'll usually have 3, 4 pianists, sometimes 5. We have 6 tonight. We did something a little different tonight where we each picked our own theme. So my theme is Teddy Wilson. Teddy Wilson didn't compose much music, so these are all songs that I learned from Teddy Wilson. So here we go. Thank you. I now give you Abe Beeson for the MC.
I've been summoned. There's definitely something I wanted to say that I forgot to say when I got up the first time, and that is that the wonderful artists you're seeing on the stage this evening have some CDs for sale. Not all of them, but they do. And so go right up to them and ask them. They are fine human beings, and they carry on conversations just fine through the masks. So ask them about their works, ask them about their CDs, where you can find their upcoming shows, and get right back out to see them again as soon as you can. Our next performer, Jose Gonzalez, is going to be playing the music of one of the greatest songwriters in the world. Through Broadway and film in the 20s and 30s and his 40s comebacks, he wrote so many songs that today are considered standards, plus a lot of really interesting songs you may never have heard before. So I'm really excited to see what we're going to get from the world of Cole Porter. Ladies and gentlemen, Jose Gonzalez.
Yeah. Say a few words about Cole Porter. He's the man. Hope you enjoy all this. Keep it brief, exactly. That was What Is This Thing Called Love? I'll let you answer that. I'm gonna do one more song. It's one of his most popular songs, Cole Porter, born in 1891. And so he spent 30 years of his life pretty much in school, going from academies to Yale to Harvard, out to England. He spent most of his life, a lot of his life in Europe. So he had an interesting lens to America. He wasn't in America during the 20s. He was outside looking in. So he had an interesting perspective. I think that really helped him with his music. He wrote music starting at the beginning and the end. So he started at the beginning and at the end and worked his way towards the middle. Fascinating. Enjoy this last one.
Jose Gonzalez. Let's hear it for Jose. The music of Cole Porter. Actually, it reminded me, I'm not sure how many of you saw the Cole Porter movie, maybe a couple decades back, called The Lovely with Kevin Kline. Not an altogether bad movie, right? Yeah, it was all right. All right. It was okay, yeah. All right. Jose's going to discuss it with me afterwards. Don't forget, we've got a wonderful second set coming up for you. Ray Shelbred is going to be here playing the music of Earl Father Hines. Darius Wilrich is going to take on Duke Ellington, and Wayne Horvitz will dig into the mind of Wayne Horvitz. Up next, though, one of my favorite performers, she came into our studios not too long ago. Well, everything seems not too long ago, with her wonderful quartet, Ann Reynolds and Clave Gringa. If you ever see them on a bill, go see that show. That's going to be a wonderful night. Playing the music of the amazing Carla Bley. Put your hands together for Ann Reynolds.
So I'm going to say a couple words about Carla Bley before I start. So Carla Bley, she was born on the West Coast in Oakland, and then she moved to New York when she was 17 years old, and this was in 1955. She sort of up and found somebody else who wanted to go to New York. They borrowed a car and borrowed a gas card that allowed them to fuel the car and also fuel themselves at these stops along the way. And pretty crazy. And then she lands in New York City, and she's sleeping in Grand Central Station because she doesn't have any place to stay. So she's like homeless in New York at age 17, 1955. And then she got her first job, and her first job was in Birdland. And she had heard a little bit of jazz in California, in San Francisco area. And she'd been intrigued by it, and she really wanted to go to New York because she thought that's where the jazz is happening. Well, right she was, and she landed in Birdland. But her job in Birdland was as a cigarette girl. So she had the tray, and had the Lucky Strikes and the little stuffed animals. And she was not very good at this job. Really, what she wanted was to hear the music. So somebody would ask her, oh, give me a pack of Lucky Strikes, and she'd be like, wait until the solo's over. And so she got her education in jazz really through her job, working as a cigarette girl. And one of the people who bought cigarettes from her was Paul Bley, a great pianist, very important at that time. And he didn't smoke, but he wanted to meet her. So he asked for a pack of Lucky Strikes. Remember those Lucky Strikes? My gosh. So the Lucky Strikes then led to them being a couple. They were married for several years. And Paul Bley was a huge champion of Carla's work, and he recorded a lot of her music and had his friends record and play a lot of her music. So that was very important. So I'm going to start playing now, and I chose as my first piece a piece that's really kind of meditative, because I kind of feel like in these frazzled and uncertain times, it's nice to take a little bit of calm and be a little bit calm. So I'm going to play for you the tune called Lawns that she wrote in 1964, I believe. So Carla Bley, some people say, is pretty uncategorizable. She was very important in the free jazz movement, then at that time called avant-garde, but avant-garde is all relative, I guess. And but she also wrote, she was involved with the rock musicians. She did this great rock opera. She wrote for classical musicians. Early on, a lot of her pieces were really short pieces that really opened doors for a lot of the people who did free improvising. And they would just take these little fragments and then just run with them. I'm going to play one from her early days. It's not quite one of these super short pieces. It's actually a 12-bar blues. But it also illustrates her sense of humor. This is called Donkey. And I'm going to try to channel my inner donkey with some hee-haws in this. Another interesting thing about Carla Bley, if you ever go and see her, and I did get a chance to see her at Jazz Alley, which was just awesome, but she always has music in front of her. She really reads her music. So I'm going to read my music tonight. And I'm going to do another one of her pieces that's kind of more in that, sort of she writes a melody but has a really interesting harmonic change underneath it. And this one's called Ida Lupino. Ida Lupino was a great actress in the 1940s, but more importantly in the 1950s, she was one of the first women directors in Hollywood. So I think Carla Bley, being a trailblazer herself, maybe was writing this song for Ida Lupino sort of as a kindred spirit. There's something I say every time I play this piano at the Royal Room. This is such a treat. This is a beautiful piano, and it really makes it, it's wonderful, isn't it, all you piano players? We, as piano players, we go out, we're always happy when we don't have to haul a keyboard, unless you're a keyboard player, but most of us want to play on an acoustic piano. And sometimes you get to a place and you sit down and play that acoustic piano and you go, ouch! So it's such a treat to have a beautiful piano like this. Thank you so much to the Royal Room South Hudson Music Project for keeping this place going and really giving us a wonderful venue. Yeah. So I'm going to finish off with one more thing, and this is not a Carla Bley tune, this is an Ann Reynolds tune. This is one, when I listened to Carla Bley's music, and she wrote just tons of great big band music, was with Charlie Hayden and his Liberation band, really great stuff that she did. But there's always this feeling afterwards I go, two words seem to describe her for me, and that is delightful wackiness. And so one day when I sat down and I found this little idea and I thought, Carla Bley could have written this, I think. So I wrote this tune, and it's called Delightful Wackiness. And I'm just going to play the beginning part. I'm just going to play the melody of it, but it's going to be played in its entirety at the Earshot Jazz Festival. I have a concert on November 4th at the Chapel Space, where my trio is going to play 4 pieces that I composed for different women composers.
Once more for Ann Reynolds, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Abe Beeson once again. We are giving away tickets. KNKX has a booth set up in the back corner here. We're giving away tickets to catch Herbie Hancock's band at the Paramount Theater later this month. There are tickets still available, so if you don't win the tickets, buy some, and I'll see you there. There is a second half of tonight's show. I hope you will stay around after a little bit of nose powdering. We'll bring out Ray Shelbred to play the music of Earl Hines. Also on the way, Darius Wilrich and Duke Ellington, and Wayne Horvitz tackles Wayne Horvitz. Just hang tight. We'll be back in just a few short moments. Welcome once again, jazz fans. We are ready for set number 2 here at Piano Starts Here. Once again, my name's Abe Beeson. I want to alert you to upcoming Piano Starts Here programs. Grab one of these little programs when you're on your way out the door, if you haven't already, to find out about all the great shows coming up. November 17th will be a celebration of one of Seattle's most important piano players. It's going to be a celebration of Mark Seals. Mark will be here playing. He'll have several of his students, showing why he's really an icon of the Northwest jazz scene. Looking ahead to January, a proof that Piano Starts Here is not just about piano players. We'll be celebrating the music of Wayne Shorter and Benny Golson. And right around the corner next year, the music of Tori Amos and Fiona Apple. Piano Starts Here really stretches out, seeing the world of music through the lens of these 88 keys. Thanks once again to Loudswell for streaming this concert this evening. COVID is still a pain, and if all we have to do is wear masks and get vaccinated, I think we might be able to grind this out. So let's grind this out, folks. Once again, I want to make sure everybody who has a chance to enter to win tickets to catch Herbie Hancock in town at the Paramount later this month gets a chance to enter to win. We're giving away a pair of tickets at the KNKX booth right in the back. I also wanted to make sure you know about the continuing series, the Royal Room Music Collective, performing here Monday nights. That is going to be a very special night for jazz in Seattle. Monday nights will also feature the Thomas Marriott Jazz Jam following the Collective's performance Monday nights here at the Royal Room. The shows continue here through the week. Thursday, Elna Jordan with Eric Verlinde and friends. The big dance party Friday with Jeff Fielder and Aisha Brooks and Hans Teuber and Wayne Horvitz and more. Fadillac is here Saturday night with McTuff. And then on Sunday, a very special program, Songs After Silence. The music of Robin Holcomb, Leslie Braley, Reggie Garrett, Joan Kelsey, Aisha Brooks and Darren Lucas, and Tyler Edwards. You can connect to the Royal Room concert calendar online for all the details. It is now my pleasure to bring up a wonderful pianist taking on the music of Earl Hines, the father of modern jazz back in 20s Chicago. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Ray Shelbred.
Does this work? Well, yes, it works. Some of you may have seen the poster picture with Earl Hines and me. That's from sometime in the mid-70s. I followed him around an awful lot. One night, the first time he ever came in where I was playing, I thought to myself, what do I do now? And I just said it to myself, but he said, you're drinking on Father Hines. And that was the start of it. Here, in the mid-60s, he didn't quite know what direction to go, so he was told by friends and critics, play solo. And this was the song he wanted to play most of all by his friend U.B. Blake, called Memories of You. You know, I saw Earl Hines and U.B. Blake play together a number of times. And one time, U.B. Blake was sitting on a little folding chair next to Hines when he played that song. And Hines did a lot of chord changes, like I tried to put in the ones that Hines did. U.B. Blake shook his head and said, I'm going to play it. I'm going to play the correct chords now, right after that. But they were okay together. This is a song called Piano Man by Earl Hines from about 1938. Song grew out of a song called Shine, and Hines altered the melody and made it Piano Man. It also turned out that Gene Krupa took the same song and called it Drummer Man, and now other versions exist of that, but it was quite a Hines feature. I'm going to end with one of my favorite, most beautiful songs written by the great composer Victor Young, and it's called Love Me Tonight, and then drift away into several of the Earl Hines blues from the early 30s and late 20s. And thank you. Thank you. I guess I'm done. I'm done. That was a little bit of Earl Hines from Blues in Thirds, and Muggles was another. He wrote a whole bunch of funny little blues in the late 20s, and I loved them, and I loved him. So, thank you.
Our Northwest treasure, Ray Showbread. Let's hear it for him. Once again, I'm Abe Beeson from the radio station KNKX, and boy, it's just been so fun to see all the familiar faces, at least part of your familiar faces, and talk to you tonight. And I know the conversation has gotten away with me a few times. I'm guilty of it. Chances are some of you are too. For these next two pianists, let's make sure to keep the table chatter down to a comfortable level so we can hear the beauty of the music of Duke Ellington and Wayne Horvitz. Our next performer, I'm really excited to bring up to the bandstand, to the piano. Darius Wilrich actually helped out the radio station last Christmas when KNKX was in a jam. How are we going to do our annual holiday jazz jam show remotely? Darius helped us out. He came through for us and played some wonderful music from the Charlie Brown Christmas show, but it was remote. And so as much as I told him I appreciated him, I couldn't do it in person. So I'm really glad to be in person and say thank you, Darius Wilrich, and to play the music of Duke Ellington, who really needs no introduction. He said a few words that have always really stuck with me. There's only two kinds of music, the good kind and the other kind. Let's bring up Darius Wilrich.
Hello, good to see everyone here. I mean, this is the biggest crowd I've seen for piano starts here, so it's wonderful to have you folks here, and it's all worth it just to get to play this wonderful instrument. Here's some Duke Ellington. Duke Ellington is obviously a very special figure in the world of jazz, and probably one of the greatest American composers, and really left a lot of great music for us. Those are the couple famous ones. That was "Do Nothing Till You Hear From Me" and "In a Sentimental Mood." And let's see, I'm kind of waffling on what's next. I'll do another famous one. And of course, that was the famous Mood Indigo. And this one is a little lesser known, but one that I always dug and thought about singing, but I guess I'm just gonna keep it piano. This was called Just Squeeze Me.
don't know, this bump and elbows thing could catch on. It's pretty hip. All right, we are nearing the end, if you can believe it, and I don't even need my notes. Wayne Horvitz is one of the hippest cats in town. When I was just getting myself started in radio, I had a job at a little station called KCMU over at the University of Washington, and I did a show called The Live Room, and we had live local bands come in and play. And Wayne Horvitz was new to town, and I can't remember which band he brought, whether it was Pigpen or Zony Mash. It was one of these incredible, uncategorizable music bands. He had Tucker Martine, the wonderful young producer, was part of that band. And I knew from that day, it's like, wow, if I could get to a point in my career where Wayne Horvitz says, "Hi, Abe," I've made it. And when I came in today, there was Wayne Horvitz. He said, "Hi, Abe." I'm like, yes. So ladies and gentlemen, I am very happy to present, playing his own music, Mr. Wayne Horvitz.
first composition is entitled Tired, something, I don't know, I've felt a little bit lately. The second composition and the next composition are both dedicated to pianists. One was a dear friend, somebody who never achieved a lot of musical fame, but was a good friend of the music community here in Seattle and died at an inordinately young age, named Trish Brown, and this was called Trish. The next tune was written right after I was heard that the great and legendary pianist Cecil Taylor had died, and this is called Cell Walk. And thank you. That, of course, was not by Wayne Horvitz. That was by Thelonious Monk. But I figured piano starts here. We got to do a little bit of that. Hey, thanks so much for coming out. We hope you see you. Tell your friends that it's safe and good and warm and whatever. Just, we'll see you around. Thank you.
Music is alive on Loud Swell.
Excuse me.
I'm ready.
Support artists directly and help create the music you love.
Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks a lot, y'all.
Thank you for being here.
Find community.
Welcome, everyone.
It's nice to play music again.
This has made me feel more optimistic than I felt in a long time.
This is cool.
Loud Swell. Money to artists, music to fans.